This should shut up everybody out there who says we haven't been reviewing actual schlock. Hey everybody, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is Thorgiween, where we're reviewing a horror film every single day, all month long. And we are in the middle of Schlocktober week, a theme week where every film we're watching qualifies as schlock, following the 4 rules that we established in our Chopping Mall episode. Low budget, has to be attempting to reach beyond their budget. In other words, they're trying to make something beyond what they know their budget can possibly allow them to do. It has to have a sense of humor to it. Doesn't have to always be intentional, but there has to be a sense of humor to it. And also has to be trying to shock the audience. I cannot think of another film that qualifies for that more than Toxic Avenger. This is a trauma film, and it is the trauma film. This is what put trauma on the map. Trauma, studio head up by Lord Kaufman. It's a famous studio for making really low budget, cheesy horror sci-fi films. They have done some other stuff in there, but it is a studio that is all about the extremes. Just like no limits, just pushing them as much as you possibly can. And whoo boy, does this ever. If you have never seen this, this is, man, there's no other word for it. It is the schlockiest of schlock films. Like, it nails every single thing that we have talked about in here. And also, especially including the last rule, which is trying to shock the audience, this thing goes, okay, what are all the barriers of good taste? We're going to break all of them. This is a film that starts off with the warning, it depicts scenes of violence. And I feel like they put that in there not to be a genuine warning, but almost to be a joke, because when you start watching this, no duh, you watch this and you go, okay, I think you were underselling this a little bit. There are graphic scenes in here, but it's not just violence that it's also pushing the limits of. I feel like this thing comes with a content warning of everything. Because there's also, there's sexual assault in here. There's some slurs that are thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
There's some really bad gay stereotypes in here. But I'm going to say this right now. If you have a problem with that, totally understandable. I'm not going to come in here and like say anything like negative about anybody who does not want to watch a film like that. But I feel like that's kind of the point of trauma. That's kind of the point of these films, is that they are meant to just push every single boundary out there. And I understand that's what they're going for, and I get it. It doesn't mean that I approve of all of it, but at the same time, like, I mean, what are you going to do? Tell a skunk not to spray people? Yeah. So yeah, I just had to get that warning out there right now. But this is the first time that I've watched this thing in full. I've started this film a couple times, never finished it, not because I was like, this sucks, I don't want to watch this, but just because I was like, oh, I don't have time for this now. And then I always had to stop. So this is the first time I actually had to sit down and focus and watch the whole thing. Man, this thing is good. I really enjoyed this. You watch this film and it definitely just has that feeling of this is why it became a cult classic. But also, it does what I feel like a lot of horror should do. It makes messages while being entertaining. And I know you might hear, oh, it's the Toxic Avenger. What messages are trying to put out there? It puts out a lot of messages. It's just they're so extreme that you will probably look at and just see them purely for the shock value of them first. This is your first time watching it too. How'd you feel about this?
Well, I knew about the movie.
Yeah.
I just never watched it. But I was aware that it has its own cult following. It's considered like a classic cheesy 80s horror movie. So I was honestly kind of excited to finally watch it and see if it lived up to the hype. And it does.
Yeah, for anybody out there who's like, does this even qualify as a horror film? It's a horror, it's a comedy, it's a superhero film. It's kind of just like, man, again, it's trauma. It's just everything that they have, just throwing it at the wall. So, this film, it starts off by talking about how New York City produces so much toxic radiation, and that has to go somewhere, so it goes to the New Jersey town of Tromaville. Yes, Troma decided to create their own town within their films, which, again, it just kind of like speaks to like the attitude of Troma. Like they were always the little dog who was like barking like they were big. It's like, good for you guys. I respect that. And we follow, and we're at the Tromaville Health Center, which is just populated by, again, nothing but stereotypes of like what you would expect in an 80s workout routine. They even have this one song that is going to be stuck in your head for so long after you hear it. It is infectiously catchy. But we have this montage of all these different people working out, and there are these just 4 complete assholes there. Just the worst people you can imagine. And then there's our hero, Melvin, who is this really scrawny. He's the guy from the old comic book ads of the I was the 90-pound weakling who got sand kicked in my face. But also you can tell, like, this guy just, like, he's an idiot, too.
Yeah.
Like, he's scrawny, but he's not, like, you know, he's scrawny, he's dumb, he has no social skills, but he's a nice guy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he does not do his job well.
He sucks at his job, too.
Yeah, like, he's supposed to be a janitor, but, like, the way he flings his mop around in other people's faces,
He's
I'm just
slapping
like...
in people's faces.
It's like, ew, that's gross. I'm surprised you still have this job.
He's, like, dropping the mop into, like, the hot tub while people are in there. And again, like, purely out of just stupidity on his part. Yeah, it feels like, okay, I remember that with The Simpsons. Someone said the rule to writing The Simpsons really well is that everyone in Springfield is just competent enough that they don't get fired. That is the secret to writing The Simpsons. Everybody is as incompetent as they can be while holding on to their job. And I watched this and I just went, this is like the opposite of that, where everybody is just incompetent enough that they should be fired. And yet they're not.
Maybe the boss is just as incompetent at firing people.
I think that's it, yeah. I think that's the secret to writing Tromaville. Everybody is just bad enough at everything. This almost feels, you know what this feels like? Tromaville feels like if the Naked Gun was an actual town. Like if the Naked Gun wasn't a spoof, it wasn't a parody that defied the laws of physics. It's like, no. All these people exist in this world. They act the exact same way that they would in a parody film, but the laws of physics still apply. Yeah, that's kind of what Tromaville is. So these 4 punks, who I don't even want to use that term for them, they're just assholes.
Yeah.
These 4 assholes who you know that they're horrible people because they literally drive around at night spouting out slurs and talking about hitting people with a car for a point system. And then it immediately cuts to this little kid riding his bike. And they're like, oh, that kid's under 12. He's worth double points. And they hit the kid. He goes flying over the car. And then they back up to just squish his head, literally like a melon, because it was a melon. This really does speak to, oh man, I keep forgetting if it's Larry Cohen or Lloyd Kaufman. Lloyd Kaufman. This really does speak to Lloyd Kaufman's just style of filmmaking. Is they just like, yeah, just put a wig on a melon. Just do it. Just fuck it.
And then, like, the girls would come out and, like, take Polaroid photos of the dead kid.
And they're, like, comparing them with each other, yeah.
And, like, one of them actually, like, gets turned on by this. And it's like, okay, this group just went from bullies to fucking psychopaths.
Them killing a kid should be like the worst, like, oh my god, how can you get any worse? And they're just like, oh, we'll show you. Oh, it can get so much worse. We're going to show you. We're going to make you hate these individuals. And mission accomplished.
Yes. There's your shock right there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, man, 10 minutes into the film, it's like, well, that checks that off. Also, you don't need to, like, you don't even need to get further into this film to go, like, it also checks off the cheap. There you go. That's that. Also, the comedy in there, check that off. Like, this thing immediately has a sense of humor to it. The only real question is it trying to reach beyond what it's capable of? And the moment that you see, like, they run over somebody and just like, just fucking put a wig on a melon. It's like, yep, that, like, we are 10 minutes in and it has checked off all 4 of those boxes. I made a joke earlier on that Schlock should also contain Barbara Crampton or Dick Miller. And that was just a joke for the Chopping Mall episode. But I was like, man, if they popped up in here just as extras in the background, it would have been perfect. So these assholes decided they also want to torture Melvin. So one of the girls tells Melvin that, oh, I want to do it with you, Melvin, but you got to be wearing pink. So put this on. So they hand Melvin a tutu. And they go, all right, come and meet me out here. And then he just walks into a dark room. And then he starts making out with something. The lights come on. He's making out with a sheet that's in makeup. and everybody is around just pointing and laughing at him. And then he panics and he runs and jumps out the window into where barrels of toxic waste just happen to be conveniently placed because the guys who were driving the toxic waste, they were like, oh man, we got pulled over. We've been driving for 2 hours. Nah, we can't stop with all this toxic waste in the back. Hey, you remember that Coke that we were snorting? Look at this, and pulls out a giant baggie of it. Well, why didn't you say so? Stops right in front of the health spa. Yeah, everybody acts like they're in a parody movie, but it's not a parody movie. The laws of physics still apply. That's the way that this works. So, he falls into the toxic waste, starts catching on fire, which just an amazing fire sequence in which the cops come up and are like, all right, hey, buddy, you okay? And touches him. And the guy's hands catch on fire, which normally when you see a fire stunt, somebody's in a suit that covers their whole body. So that way, like, they can be fully protected or as protected as you can be doing a fire stunt. Here we have a cop with his hands actually on fire while the rest of him is not in some kind of suit. It's like, I don't think I've ever seen a fire stunt like that. Oh, that really feels dangerous. Like, no, I know when you see somebody like doing a fire stunt where their whole body is in flames, it's like, yeah, of course, that is very dangerous. But you do, like, in your mind realize they're in the suit, they've got the protective stuff on. This guy, the protective stuff ends here, bare skin right here. It's like, oh my God, that feels like the most dangerous one I've seen. Like, that guy could actually get hurt.
And then you cut to a scene of Melvin in an actual, like, fire suit, all on fire. And it's weird because it's like, he caught on fire after he got dunked into the toxic. Yeah. And, like, the police officer got on fire first. It's like...
that seems like that's backwards there. Exactly. And as he's running away on fire, Night on Bald Mountain is playing, which, again, just reaching beyond your limits because that music is too sophisticated for a film like this, but because it's too sophisticated, it works. And also... that music is in the public domain, so it's like, oh, I know why you really chose this. So he goes back home, and then he starts mutating into the Toxic Avenger. And from there on out, it cuts to a police officer, and they mention he's like the one non-corrupt cop in the town. And these 3 gang members come up to him, and one of them is called Cigar Face because he's just chomping down a big cigar the entire time. And again, I gotta point out, like, there are, like, very negative gay stereotypes in here. One of the gang members, thank you. One of them is in drag, and they are dressed in, like, the wig and makeup. And, like, there's a moment in which, like, the other 2 gang members are getting their ass kicked, and this guy's just got, like, you know, like, makeup, like, just, like, looking in a compact mirror, putting lipstick on. It's like, wow, man. Okay, like I said, that's the one thing in this film that I really kind of have some problems with, is some of the gay stereotypes that they put in here, because I feel like horror should definitely push limits, but I also feel like it should always punch up. And I feel like this was, if they made the film today, they probably would not do this. I don't know, they actually did make Toxic Avenger 2025, and I haven't seen that one yet, so maybe they do. I don't know, but I feel like that was more just like, that's the times of like everybody in the A's is making gay jokes back then. But yeah, so that's like the one thing in this film that I'm like, that didn't age all that well. But yeah, these 3 punks, they start beating up the one good cop in Tromaville because he won't take the bribe. Then the Toxic Avenger comes in there and just starts ripping the gang members apart and just throwing them around.
Like smashing them against each other. Like...
grabbing their nuts, which really, there's a lot of that in this film. There's a whole lot of nut grabbing.
A whole lot of nut jokes.
Oh, yes. If you like seeing people get hit in the nuts, oh, are you ever going to see that? But then I love this. The entire time he's beating up the punks, he is just like, rah, rah, very Frankenstein style. But then he goes up to the police officer and helps him up and goes, I'm terribly sorry. I don't know what came over me. Like the deepest, like most mature voice. And I don't think that's the voice of the actor who was playing Toxic Avenger. Because I've heard that guy talk. He doesn't have that voice. And every time that I've looked up credits for this, like they list him as the body of the Toxic Avenger. I cannot find who did the voice. I have no clue. Maybe it was the same guy. Maybe it was.
Yeah, like maybe they pitched it down or something like that.
You know what? That could be it. That would actually make sense because there is a moment later on in which for the first like half of this film, you don't see the Toxic Avenger's face. It's hidden. But when you actually do see it, there is a moment in which like it's a good tight shot on him as he's talking. And it's like, that's either his actual voice or that's like the best dubbing I've ever seen. Because that is lip syncing perfectly. Yeah, it is. I still to this day don't know. Maybe they did tone it down. I didn't think about that, but that actually could explain it. So from there, it's just scenes of like just crime breaking out, and it's Tromaville crime, so it is to the extremes all over. And then the Toxic Avenger shows up, stops it. There's like a taco shop.
It's literally called the Mexican Place.
Yes. Run by the way, a bunch of people who I do not think were Mexican. And like some gang members come in there and like they look like they come out of a Batman movie.
Right.
One of them has like a lot like makeup covering half his face with like a big heart over his eye. Like this guy looks like he's a member of some card-based villain group out there. So Toxic Avenger comes in there, beats him up. He rips the arm off of one guy who I found out doing the little research before this. That guy, not an actor, he was an actual amputee who was an IRS agent who wanted to be in a movie so bad, he was like, oh, you need someone to have their arm ripped off? Well, so I hope he enjoyed being on this film, because yeah, like I said, he just really wanted to be in a movie. But Toxic Avenger comes in there, he beats the crap out of everyone, just like shoves them into like the big
oven.
He shoves them into the oven in there.
And then like shoves one guy's hands into the deep fryer.
Yeah, and then like bends the bars around him to keep him from leaving. But these criminals, before Toxic Avenger showed up, they shot a blind woman's dog, which again, this is a film about pushing extremes. So if you're also like, I do not want to see an animal get hurt. There's a shot in there of like, you know, stuff coming out of the dog. Like,
although it is a stuffed animal. It's like
it's clearly not real.
Yeah, honestly, like it is kind of funny just to see a stuffed animal get like blown across the floor.
Yeah. Again, it's kind of like I was mentioning when we were talking about Hatchet that I was just like, yeah, I'm not a gore guy. I don't like gore. But if you can make it like cartoonish, then I love it. And it's like, yeah, that's all the gore in here is very cartoony.
And I love how like later on they cut to the dog and he's just lying there panting.
It's very clearly still alive.
Yes, very clearly still alive, and it just has like fake blood on its side.
That was a good dog. That dog knew how to stay still. Good dog. But Toxic Avenger then like meets the blind woman. The blind woman's like, I can't get back home without my dog. He's like, well, then I can help you. Here, let me show you. And then the two of them become like a romantic item. And it's actually genuinely sweet throughout this film.
Yeah.
But I will also say, if you're also like, okay, the film is all about pushing limits, they make a lot of blind jokes in here. Yeah, that's another thing that you're going to have to be okay with in this film. Although it gets to a point in which it's like, okay, I don't even know if you're making blind jokes at this point. I think you're just trying to say that she's clumsy.
Yeah.
Because like there's moments in which she gets back home and she's knocking stuff off. It's like, how are you knocking stuff off in your own home?
Yeah, honestly, it's more like a Mr. Magoo kind of
thing. Very, yeah, I think that's what they're trying to go for with it. But we should now talk about the villains of the film.
The actual villains,
yes.
Not the criminals.
Not the criminals he's been beating up, not the like just assholes which by the way, the leader of the assholes is a guy named Slug. And he has got, if you could take the avatar of cocaine and just like make that a character, it'd be him. This guy is just, has the, like, this is a film in which you have multiple characters just screaming nonstop, and yet he takes the cake. Every time it cuts to him, it is the most over-the-top, just angry. It's like in Revenge of the Nerds, that guy who just screamed out, "Nerds!" Except pitch it way up. They took all the lower pitches and added to Toxie, raised the pitches up on this guy. His scream just, I can't even begin to replicate. I'm not going to try, but it is an all-timer scream. It's just so over-the-top angry that he's just cracking his own voice at. And he's always mad. He makes the angry punk guy from Spookies from yesterday look like mentally stable. But the big villains of oh yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say like the Toxic Avenger, like if anything, this guy is the toxic masculinity Avenger.
Okay,
like,
that's very good. I give you credit on that one. If that's not true, they making the new one that came out this year, I'll be shocked. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, those still are like, those are just the guys who Toxie has to beat up. The true villains of everything are the ruling class. It's the people in charge. It's the police chief who is so clearly a Nazi. Like, they're just making that joke all over the place. Like, he's doing the hand signals, he's doing the boot steps, like, he's doing everything.
Like the stereotypical German accent. And then, of course, there's the mayor.
Who is just the most, like, again, if you want to see a film that just makes jokes at everyone, like, we had fat jokes in here anywhere? There it is. Yeah, the mayor is just constantly getting massaged.
The literal fat cat.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Yeah, the mayor, there's so many shots of him with his shirt off, getting a massage while eating a giant sandwich. There's multiple shots of that in this film. Yeah, and this guy, you even point out, like, that guy is sweating nonstop. Like, it's noticeable how many jokes they're supposed to be making about. But they are like, okay, well, the Toxic Avenger is trying to take out anyone evil. There's even a scientist who comes in at one point in which Toxie doesn't even know why he's attacking some people in here. And a scientist comes in at one point and says, it feels like this monster has some kind of a sixth sense that just allows him to identify evil and drives him to destroy evil. Which is like, all right, cool, I'm fine with that. Like, Toxie's got Toxie senses. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. All right. So,
but then eventually, like, he doesn't just, like, start killing, he doesn't just, like, kill bad guys. He starts helping, like, good guys also.
That's the other thing. This is the best montage in the film. The best montage in the film is not Toxie taking out all the bad guys. It's him, like, just a montage of helping people around town. Like, he saves these kids from being run over, and they, like, pats them on the head, and the kids are like, yeah! The child actors in here are so good, too. Not even good in terms of, like, that's actually good acting. No, it's like, man, you got some kids who just want to have fun on a movie set. All right, I appreciate that. That's the thing about trauma that's so infectious. It feels like they just want to have fun.
Right.
Although I will say I've heard some stories about, like, there's a masturbation scene in here in which I will point out, like, we should not just, like, applaud trauma nonstop. That was supposed to be a closed set. It was not a closed set.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will also point out, like, man, yeah, this was the 80s. There were not standards and legal practices back then. So yeah, this film also had problems behind the scenes that we're not going to pretend like it did.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, the montage of Toxie just going around town, just helping people, saving the little kids, rescues a baby, helps a little old lady across the street, or the best one, just a random lady in her house can't open up a jar of popcorn. Toxie just comes up to the window. She freaks out, but then he takes the jar of popcorn and then hands it back, and the popcorn is popped.
Yeah, like it was a jar of like popcorn kernels.
Yeah.
And I just assumed it was because of his radioactivity that caused the popcorn to pop, but thinking about that, does that mean he'll have, like, side effects on, like, the people he helps?
In all fairness, the entire town is the world's biggest toxic waste dump. They're probably all immune.
You know, fair point.
Fair enough. But that's the thing, is I assumed that was the joke too, but then I thought about more, since that never comes up ever again after this point, I think they might have just been trying to make a joke that Toxic Avenger is so magically good, he could just pop the kernels for her. I feel like that might have been the joke they were going for. I don't know which one it was, because I assumed it was that, but the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, I think they were just trying to make the Toxic Avenger the nicest guy possible. Let me pop that popcorn for you as well. I love his voice, by the way. I remember, like, this is the first time I ever watched this movie. But I remember when I was a kid, I did watch like one episode of the Toxic Avengers cartoon.
Yeah.
Because I remember that being a thing. If memory serves me correct, he does not have a voice like that in that one. In that one, he's got more of the, okay, team, we're going to go out there and save the day. Like, I think that was the voice he had back in that one. I could be
that sounds
misremembering
very 80s cartoon voice.
Which, I love the fact that Troma made a Toxic Avengers cartoon because they were just like, oh, we gotta run with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, the ruling folks in town, like the police chief, the mayor, and then a bunch of other guys who we don't really know what they're involved with, but they're there too. And they're again just like the most they're the most, like, you look at them and you're like, well, they're clearly up as wrong. something is going bad with them. Like one guy has the worst comb over in the world because he's got like the long comb over hair, but it's not combed over. So he's just got the bald head with like just a big like bloop just hanging off the side. Hey buddy, you want to get up here? Ooh, there you go, buddy. All right. Oh, we should name our next dog Toxie. I was making a joke about how the guys who run this town are so like cartoonishly evil and just design alone, like such stereotypes of what you would imagine like the corrupt ruling folks to be like. By the way, again, dog is panning, so if you got like, we took a little break there because I was like, all right, let her get all the panning out of her system. And like, nope, I guess it's just never going to stop. So you're gonna be hearing that now. Like I said, the most unprofessional review show on YouTube. So, I keep making a joke about how like they look like just such stereotypes of like what you would imagine like corrupt ruling folks to look like. I love there's a moment in which the criminal from earlier in the film, who's called Cigar Face, comes back to get revenge on Toxic Avenger. So it brings out a bunch of other criminals. They look like they all came from Dick Tracy. Like they look like, you know that Daffy Duck cartoon?
Yeah, like Duck Tracy.
Yeah, where he's just like, this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and this guy. There's a montage of just a shot of each of them around them. All of them look like they came from that cartoon. They're only there for that one shot, but I just love it. Like, again, it's that level of over-the-top that you expect from Troma. So the film goes on, and it becomes just incredibly touching and heartwarming.
Yeah.
Watching the Toxic Avenger just go around helping people, like, the relationship between him and his girlfriend is so good. Like, they have, like, this lovey-dovey montage in there, but, like, yeah, that's kind of why I can overlook a lot of the real, like, the offensive stuff in here. Is because, A, like, that's just kind of, like, the point of Troma. It's just, like, you just gotta know what you're getting into in here. But also, it's, like, it's just moments like that that just have heart. That make you really warm up to the Toxic Avenger as a character.
Mm-hmm. Like, gee, it's no wonder, like, they made a bunch of sequels and a cartoon and action figures.
Like, you can actually watch this, and despite the massive amounts of graphic violence and kill scenes in here and all the boobs, so many boobs. I think Spookies is the only movie we're going to watch this entire week that doesn't have boobs in it. Yeah, just so much violence and boobs. It feels like if you just took the Toxic Avenger away from the violence and boobs, he would absolutely be a hero for kids. Mm-hmm. He totally feels like that. And that's the weird charm of this film. It's the massive contrast between the character of Toxic Avenger and everything around him.
Fun fact, because I didn't know what the Toxic Avenger was about, and I mostly know it from the cartoon, I assumed that the movie, like, he was basically an environmentalist.
It feels like that. It feels like you could do that. I mean, he's carrying around a mop as his weapon.
Yeah, it's like I always thought, I was like, oh, I became deformed because of all this toxic waste. I need to clean up everything and make the world a better place.
But definitely has that feeling. Maybe he becomes like that.
Then again, maybe I've been watching too much Captain Planet as a kid.
I mean, that might have been what they did in the cartoons back then. I mean, it definitely has that feeling. In fact, I even have like weird, vague memories of seeing like ads for like the Toxic Avenger video game that were like environmentally themed. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm combining stuff in my head. But yeah, I do have like a weird memory of like Toxic Avenger doing like environmental stuff. So
yeah, I always thought like the big bad in the movie would be like, the
people making the toxic waste. It feels like it, right? Yeah, it does. Hey, buddy. Sorry, I get mesmerized when my dog is just panting this much because I'm just like, should I stop talking right now? You got something to say, buddy? You can't even see. Can you see her? Let's do the test.
No.
Nope, she is just out of frame. Although her hand right there. Little paw. There you go. All right.
Like a close up on the paw.
Yes. So anyhow, this is gonna be. I'm gonna have to do some editing on this video. But yeah, watching this film, like, again, it's one of those films where even among schlocky films, you might be like, oh, I watched Chopping Mall and I enjoyed that. I enjoy schlock films. Like, this one is on a whole other level.
Yeah.
This is the schlock films of schlock films.
Right.
Like, you got to get into the mindset to enjoy this one. But if you can get into that mindset, if you can just like go like, let me just throw all good taste away Because like, that's the other thing is that I said that about schlock is that it's got to have like an air of tastelessness to it too.
Like we've been saying before, like schlock is like junk food of horror movies.
And this is like a weird caramel ball that just has every random crap shoved in there. Like
I was gonna like make a joke about how it's like a sugary cereal or something.
I was literally about to say it's like a caramel ball that has Lucky Charms marshmallows shoved inside of it. Like a caramel popcorn ball that also has Lucky Charms marshmallows in there and sprinkles on top of it. And like, I know I will regret this, but hear me out. It's not bad. I'll take a bite of it. Yeah, that's what the Toxic Avenger is. And it's also glowing green for some reason. But yeah, so it's one of those films that it's the heart that makes this film.
Right.
Otherwise, it's random crap that is entertaining. I'm not going to pretend like, just seeing the extremes, like how far and weird this film gets isn't surprising enough to make me go like, oh shit, okay, I'll keep watching. But yeah, it's the heart. That's the important part that people don't talk about. And because of that, I'm giving this a B. I'm giving this honestly, it feels like it would be an insult to this film to give it anything other than a B because it is so a B movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, as far as like schlock movies, I feel like this would be like an A+.
Yeah, it's weird. If you're gauging if you're gauging just schlock as itself, if you're gauging schlock out on a curve, this is A+ because it is the schlock film, which is impressive considering there is another film that is actually just called Schlock. Which I don't even know if we're going to watch that one this week. I have yet to make up my mind about what the remaining 3 films are we're going to watch. Yeah, I feel like if you just grade this as a film itself, it's B. If you grade this as schlock, it's A+.
Mm-hmm.
It does what it needs. It does what schlock is supposed to do.
Right.
We get to the finale of this film now. So now, spoiler part of this film. The ruling folks in here, they decide like, okay, well, we have to get rid of the Toxic Avenger. Otherwise, he's going to turn on us. And
it's like we have to kill him or else he will kill us. Like,
and they see the opportunity to try and turn people against the Toxic Avenger. Because Toxic Avenger, like I said, he can just sense that someone's evil. And then he just goes after her and he can't even control themselves. And
like he goes after this little old woman.
Yes, he runs into a little old lady who seems like the sweetest, nicest old lady. He just chases her down, and he even does a Jason teleport during the chase, which I've said this many times. Death Battle, get on that. The 2 biggest icons of New Jersey, the Toxic Avenger and Jason Voorhees. I can't even lie. During this film, I was like, if they did make that, what stats does Toxic Avenger have? Like, how tough is he? Can he survive this? Like, and it's like, man, that's a pretty even match in all honesty.
Mm-hmm. Like, we've seen him, like, take bullets and everything.
He takes bullets, survives a car crash, which, man, that car crash stunt. Holy crap. That was impressive. And my favorite thing is that when you go back and you rewatch that car crash sequence, when the car goes flying off the cliff, there's just a guy at the bottom of the cliff just walking, just strolling casually, and the car's heading right for him, and it cuts. And I'm just like, please tell me that guy worked on the crew. Please tell me that guy just wasn't walking down there and you're so cheap that you didn't clear out the space for this first. Because it's Troma, they might have done that. But he ends up killing this little old lady, and he's like, I don't even know why I did that. Maybe I really am a monster, and I can't control myself. And then it cuts to the police chief and the mayor, and he's like, that little old lady was secretly running the biggest slavery ring in North America.
Also, like, wasn't she, like, the mom of, like, one of the assholes?
I think that's implied, because she said that she had, like, her boy and her friend, and she says, oh, they got something on their pants, and I don't know what this is. And it looks like toxic waste on there, so I can't tell.
And I think they mentioned her kid's name. It was like Slug or something.
Yeah, that's the name of the guy.
So I think they mentioned, oh, how's Slug doing? And it's like, oh, he's doing just fine.
I missed that line. Okay, all right, yes. Okay, so that connects some dots in there. But yeah, so Toxic Avenger takes her out. And he's like, I don't know why I killed that little old lady. But the mayor is like, well, even though we know she was evil, we're not going to tell anybody that. So we're going to hide that. We're going to use this as an excuse to call in the National Guard. And it was like, man, this takes on a brand new meaning. Watch this in 2025. Wow, you mean that the corrupt ruling class would actually use the National Guard to call on people standing up against corruption? Wow, I can't imagine that would happen. Anywho, yeah, man, you watch this film, and despite like all the, like I said, it's going to be offensive to a lot of people. But you get to the end of this film, and he's like, man, you get why so many, like, oppressed people really look up to horror icons. Like, because you can definitely, like, watch a film like this and go, like, oh, man, yeah, it's Toxic Avenger's the greatest hero we have right now. Here's the point where, like, tanks and everything are just rolling up on a tent where Toxie and his girlfriend are hanging out. And all the police officers, all the National Guard, they're just pointing guns at him. But then the people of town just run in there. The one good cop, the guy who ran the, like, I don't even know what he ran. He ran, like, a malt shop or something that Toxic Avenger saved. Like, or was he working at the taco shop?
I think maybe it was a taco shop, but maybe he, like, quit and decided, like, go to a malt shop.
Because it looks like a malt shop outfit.
Yeah, but then again...
Nobody in the taco place was like, they were all dressed in like malt outfits. I think it was one of him, yeah.
Also, like, one of the gang members he beat up, he, like, basically scrambled his face into, like, a milkshake
Into
machine.
a milkshake. So, honestly, I think it was a guy from there.
Yeah, so
I should point this out. I didn't want to spoil this during the review. But afterwards, I made the similarities between this and Springfield. It then cuts to the police officers, like after Toxie saved everybody at the taco shop, it cuts to the police officers back there, and they're examining all the dead bodies, but all of them are just eating tacos nonstop, and in the most sloppy way too, just like, I don't know, like just everything spilling out of there. And there's a moment where they're like looking at like the one guy who got shoved into the grill as they're eating the tacos. And all I could think was, that's literally a Simpsons joke. In the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, that episode where Snake took over Homer's body and he killed Apu by shoving him in the squishy machine, and then has the police chief Wiggum drinking a squishy, and he goes, well, we can at least say that he didn't suffer. And then it cuts to Lou back there. I don't know, Chief. Looks to me like he suffered a lot. Ah, geez, Lou, how long are we going to let me keep drinking this thing? And I think I mentioned the joke of, in Springfield, everybody is just competent enough that they don't lose their jobs. Tromaville, everybody is just incompetent enough that they should be fired, but they're not. This is the perfect similarities between that. Police Chief Wiggum is doing the same thing, but when he sees the body, he's like, oh, why'd you let me drink this? These guys see the bodies and they're still eating the tacos. It's the perfect comparison between those two. But yeah, everybody starts staying up in front of the police so they don't shoot the Toxic Avenger.
And like the one good cop who the Toxic Avenger saves, he's like, I'm not gonna do this. And
he puts down the gun, yeah.
And then all the other cops like follow his lead.
Yeah, which I love that there's a moment in which the cop is at like ice cream place talking to the malt shop kid about like, we can't let them do this. Oh, but I can't disobey my orders. Oh man, the Toxic Avenger, he's not a bad guy, right? And the cop turns this little kid looking at a big ice cream, and the kid just goes, I'm like, man, it's, again, great child acting, not because it's good, but because it's like, that's a genuine kid who just wanted to be in a movie.
Yeah, they probably have no idea what the hell's going on. It's like, they have ice cream, they're happy.
Their parents said, when I nod off screen, you nod, yeah. Like, you just get the sense that, man, Pete, you are panting up a storm right now, buddy. You just get the sense that, like, 20 years later, their parents told him, it's like, did you know you were in a movie when you were a baby? What? What movie? Oh, that movie. Oh, by the way, we have not talked yet about the makeup on the Toxic Avenger.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's getting, it's a pretty good makeup job for the budget that they had, and you can only look out of one eye. And I found this out. I didn't know. When I said that this was the next movie we were watching, totally by accident, I should point this out. The makeup artist, who, by the way, has gone on to, like, she worked on the Dungeons and Dragons movie from not long ago. She worked on, like, Westworld. Like, she is blown up. The makeup artist on this, like, she has had a long career since then. Know what her first movie was?
What, this one?
No. Spookies!
Oh.
Not kidding! Yeah, she, like I said, the makeup person that I talked about in yesterday's video, he was, like, 15 years old or something. But there was another makeup artist on there. And that guy got fired. But there was a third makeup artist on there.
Like, I was going to say, I hope she was the one that got fired or replaced with the 15-year-old.
No. Man, you guys missed out then. But yeah, but no. So yeah, I know about the 15-year-old who worked on the special effects in Spookies. I know about the guy who got fired from Spookies. There was a third makeup artist on there, and it's her. And she then went on to do this film right afterwards. And then she just blew up after this, and like she's won Oscars for her work. Like
she deserves it. Like
for the budget they had to make something that looked this good, yeah. Also on Spookies, like really, like the more I think about that, and the more I think about like her career after this, and the fact that the other guy, while also having a very successful career, was like 15 years old. She probably deserves more of the credit for Spookies yesterday. The 15-year-old story is more impressive because he was 15 years old and also has a successful career. But it's like, man, this guy, he probably learned a couple things from her on this film.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So I can't remember her name, but that's because I can't remember anybody's names. But yeah,
the screen went blank, so we don't really have
our Q notes over there just went blank. Sorry. But yeah. That's just, I found that out. I was like, oh my God, I did not plan this. I did not plan that. I had to make that clear. But honestly, when you look at like the rubber quality on Toxic Avenger and the rubber quality on the monsters in the film yesterday, it's like, yeah, you can see it. Yeah. This lady knows rubber. But then the film ends with Toxic Avenger, like everybody steps down, decides not to attack Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, like even like the National Guard steps down.
Yeah, and then Toxic Avenger steps out from behind everybody.
The thing is, like the National Guard were told to capture him.
Yes.
But the mayor was like, no, I want to kill him. So it's like even the mayor is more evil than the military.
Those guys were just there. It's like, man, we were told to just come in and capture this guy. But it's like, no, the mayor needs him dead because this is a thing that can identify evil. He doesn't want it around. And then he runs up to him and just like jams his, man, again, this is the quality of this film. This is what makes it so special. We have this big hooray moment. Everyone's coming together. All the little kids are there cheering on Toxic Avenger. Everybody came together. Toxic Avenger is now accepted by the community. Everyone loves him. And then he jams his hand straight into the mayor's stomach and pulls out his guts. And like, yeah, that's what this film is. This film is like...
And then they keep cheering afterwards. Like, fuck the mayor.
This film is like a very uplifting, great, heartfelt movie where people's organs are being ripped out in the same scenes.
It's heartfelt and hearts are felt.
Yes. That's good. I like that. That's good. Oh, yeah. Anything else you want to say about this film?
No, I just really love the narration at the end, too. It's like, and so the Toxic Avenger lived happily ever after. So whenever there's danger around, look out for the Toxic Avenger.
It's just got that charm to it that's so good. Was not expecting to like this film as much as I did. It's really good. Although I will say, we keep talking about how this thing is cheap. So is the quality of the recording.
Oh, yeah.
We watched this on Shudder. Maybe there is an actual version out there that fixes all this, but the audio in this film kept like going out and then up in here, and it's all normal again. And then
well, at least we didn't have to put on subtitles, so we
can still make it out. I'll still say that. Meaning that the bad audio in Toxic Avenger is still better than the cultivated audio in Amazon films. That was the thing that we were complaining about, like bad audio and mixing in television, not even in the movies themselves, because like I go to the movies and I can understand everything.
Yeah, like in streaming services.
Yeah, the moment that we watch something on a streaming service, it's so bad, and it's like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? It's like, then the more I thought about it, I was like, it's really only Amazon. Like Disney Plus is okay, Netflix is fine, it's got some problems there. Amazon, I can never understand what the hell anything is going on in an Amazon film that we're renting. The audio mixing on Amazon is just terrible. Shudder, even with their shitty B quality 80s, like we lost all the good audio tracks and this is all you got left. The film is being destroyed as is going through the projector quality sound. Still sounds better than on Amazon. But yeah, there you go, everybody. That is Toxic Avenger. What the hell are we watching tomorrow?
I don't know. We will find out.
You know what? We did International Horror Film Week. I've never seen this film, but I've always wanted to. And we didn't do a film from Japan during International Horror Film Week. Feels like we probably should.
Oh, is this what I think it is?
I don't know what you're thinking of. What are you thinking of?
House?
No. Although, man, ooh. Actually don't know.
Well,
no, you know what? Here's the film that we're doing. We're going to do this film because I don't think The House is schlock. It's kind of schlock, but not quite. Not quite there, but man, I really want to talk about House. But no, guess we'll be saving that for later. That's a great thing about having this channel where we no longer have to review good, like modern day new releases. I can just talk about whatever I want, whatever. Maybe we'll talk about that in November. Anywho, the film that we were talking about tomorrow is, I don't fully remember the name of it. It's on Shudder, but it's like hot-blooded zombie muscle shirt bodybuilders. It's something like that. I don't remember the exact name, but if you go on Shudder and just type in like muscle bodybuilder zombies, it'll pop up. You'll see it. I don't remember the full name of it. I'll put the name here. I've been meaning to watch that for the longest freaking time. We're gonna finally watch it, and I hope it's schlock, but with a name like that, how is it not? See you then, everybody.
Bye.